guys, and welcome back to my channel Zane's English Lounge, where we learn English in a comfortable and a relaxed environment. So today we're going to be speaking about the IELTS speaking part of the test, part 2, and I'm going to explain to you how the test is, what it's about, and how we can manage this part of the speaking test. So guys, let's get into it. Okay guys, so beginning from the very start about the IELTS Speaking Part 2 test. So what is the format of the test? So we will receive a cue card, and on that cue card will be a topic with different questions that we need to answer. We will have a total of 1 minute to prepare for this. Thereafter, we will speak about the topic for 2 minutes. So in this video, we will be looking at how to prepare in that 1 minute and how to speak for 2 minutes. So stay tuned, guys. Get your pens, notebooks if you need to, and let's start getting into this video. Okay, so guys, the structure of your cue card is this. It's made up of your main topic question, which is what your speaking is going to be about. This is the main topic, right? And then we have the 4 bullet points, which is going to come under your main topic. So you're going to give details, you're going to give experiences, you're going to talk about how you're feeling in these 4 bullet points here. However, don't let the bullet points distract you in the sense where you're going to lose fluency, right? We have to be fluent as well, so we don't not thinking about which bullet point is next and then which bullet point is next, and then our fluency becomes disrupted. So don't let your fluency become disrupted by thinking about what bullet point is next. Just speak fluently and speak about the experiences that you are going to talk about, right? And then normally the last bullet point asks you for your opinion about why did you have that experience and how did you feel about it. So the last bullet point is more or less about your experience and why, right? So this is the structure of the cue card, and we're going to break it down even further on how to handle the answer. Okay, so we're going to do that. So guys, as you all may know that the IELTS speaking test or the IELTS speaking test part 1, part 2 and part 3 is time based. So time management is essential in the IELTS test as a whole, in fact. So speaking part 2, we really have to manage our time well, right? So we will look at time management skills in this section of our speaking test in the 1 minute that we have. So how do we break down our time in the 1 minute that we have in the IELTS test? So we can maybe use it in the first 15 seconds to read and understand the main topic, what is required of us, and maybe we'll take 15 to 40 seconds to brainstorm our ideas, to choose what topic we want to talk about, so we can have these ideas that we already have in our minds. And then the last part is we have to write key notes. So these are keywords, guys. These are not full sentences, as you only have 1 minute to prepare, so we cannot write a whole paragraph. It's just these keywords that can help us expand our answers. So let's look at what to write and what not to write in our keywords, right? In our notes, the notes that we will prepare for the 1 minute that we have. So what will we write and what won't we write? So firstly, we will write keywords only, right? Example, park, Sunday, or relax. Um, Try and keep it down to one word per bullet point as you only have 1 minute. Try and write down a feeling or adjective that you felt during the moment that you want to talk about. Maybe a name of a specific place where it all happened, and a quick opening phrase which will help a lot. More on that a bit later. What about what not to write? Definitely not full sentences as we only have 1 minute. Guys, always remember 1 minute is all you have. We cannot write a complete script because it could just be reading, sounding a bit robotic. The examiner wants to hear you, your fluency, how you experienced what you are going to tell them. And then sometimes we can have too many ideas in our heads, but we must make sure that we always stick to one example because it can become confusing with too many examples and we will get lost. And then definitely write something, right? Because a blank piece of paper is a lost opportunity and it definitely will cause you to be lost and talk about nothing, right? So make sure you write down on your notes, you use that 1 minute profitably. So the note-taking example we are going to look at next, just to guide us through on how we are to take notes in this part 2 section. So guys, let's look at an example of a cue card and how can we take notes in it. So guys, here we have a cue card which has the question, describe a place like you like to visit, and as we mentioned earlier, under that we have 4 bullet points that we are to discuss. Where it is, how often you go, what do you do there, and why you like it. So in our notes, we can see the where will be the place, of course, Central Park, New York City. How often is every Sunday? What do you do there? You jog, you read, or you have a picnic there. Why do you go there? Because it's peaceful and to escape city noise, maybe. And why do you like it? We have the opening phrase, I'd like to talk about a place that I'd like to go, which is Central Park, New York City, which I go there every Sunday to jog. I like to go there because it's peaceful, and I also like to go there because I um, escape the city noise. So it is like this, we can build our example, build our answer for these type of questions. Also, um, where it is, we need to provide our location, right? The next 2 bullet points, how often you go and what do you do there, we need to answer with specific details, right? So be specific, guys, add details, and why do you like to go there, we give our examples or our descriptions, right? Example, peaceful, escape city noise, and things like that. So guys, we are going to now talk about how to start strong in our response, which is really important, right? Because starting strong is something that will build our talk. So we're gonna discuss about that, how to start strong. Starting strong in the IELTS speaking test for part 2 is essential. Because when you start strong, you build confidence to get into your 2 minutes of talking time. If at the first you begin to stutter or you begin to have no confidence at the beginning, it affects your whole talk. So your 2 minutes really goes off if you start badly in the beginning. So what we're going to look at now is how to start strong. And these are some phrases that I have for you here that can work um, at the beginning of any topic that we speak about. So the first phrase we can look at is I'd like to talk about. Now this is very generic. This can work with any kind of topic, right? I'd like to talk about my work. I'd like to talk about the book I've read. I'd like to talk about the places that I visited. So it's very generic. It can work for almost any topic, right? The next one we see here is the place, the person, or a thing I want to describe, right? So that's a bit specific, right? The place I want to describe is New York City, right? The person I want to describe is my grandma. The thing I want to describe is the book I've read, right? So this phrase is more specific that we can use at the beginning of our talk. Here we have two more natural phrases that we can use with confidence. But now we can talk about our experience um, or the place that we've visited, right? So it's more emotional now. We're bringing in our experiences, what we've witnessed, or how it affected us, how it made us feel. So we can talk about that as well. We can start off with that. Now we look at the question, right? Depending on the question of how we can use these phrases. So this one sounds natural and thoughtful, emotions that are in this phrase here. And the last one we can look at is I'm going to tell you about, right? So this one is very direct. It just gets straight to the point. So I'm going to tell you about the book I've read. I'm going to tell you about the place I visited. So sometimes these phrases interlink, right? So like before we went to the place I want to describe is now we can say I'm going to tell you about the place that I visited. So it sometimes interlinks and goes together. So guys, these are some of the phrases that we can use at the beginning of our speaking part of the exam. Another thing that we should definitely do in this part of the speaking test is expand our answers, because guys, we have 2 minutes to talk and we do not want to be just saying one word answers or one sentence answers and then just stop at 1 minute. We're just saying the bare minimum. So guys, expanding our answers is really important in this part of the test, and the more we practice it, the more we will become natural at doing it, right? So every time we do an example answer, let's practice expanding our answers. So how can we do that, right? We can do that by various different ways, where we can expand our answers. We can probably add details to the answer, right? Not just I go to the park, but I usually go to Central Park, which is about 10 minutes away from my house. That bit of extra detail adds a couple of seconds to your time, and it also gives the examiner a bit more information about what you are talking about, right? Another way we can expand our answers is to give reasons. Why do we go to the park, right? Um, an example here, I enjoy it because it helps me clear my mind after a busy week at work, right? Let's look at another reason or another way of expanding our answers is by using examples, right? So make it personal to you. Make it about your experience or the experience that you've encountered, right? So, for instance, last Sunday, I had a picnic with my friends near the lake, right? So using examples is another way of expanding your answer. Another way is emotions, right? Describe the feelings. What did you experience at that moment? At that moment when you were having that picnic, or maybe having that sandwich, with that special somebody at the park, that moment when you were reading the book and it came to the point in the book where they were going to jump off a cliff. How did you feel, right, when you were reading that book? So you can bring the examiner into that, the emotions of how you felt and what you felt at that specific time. In this example, we can read, it makes me feel really relaxed and refreshed, almost like a mini holiday. Also, ways we can use to expand our answer, right, is comparison, to compare. How is this park in relation to that park, right? It also shows the examiner you have the knowledge of comparing two things, and also it adds extra seconds to your 2 minutes, which is what you want to talk about and how much time you need to talk for the 2 minutes. So guys, this is ways in which we can expand our answer, and next we're gonna look at the breakdown of how we can break down our 2 minutes so we can have sufficient information to talk about in those 2 minutes. So, how do we manage our 2 minutes that we have? Guys, I know it may be a daunting feeling of having 2 minutes to speak about. But guys, in this video, we've covered many things on how we can expand our answers and how we can get to those 2 minutes. We'll look at something now, how we can really speak for these 2 minutes, right? We need to aim for at least 1.5 to 2 minutes. Right, so speaking for less than 1 minute is out of the question, and it shouldn't be in the answer as well. So because it will hurt your band score really badly, right? So we need to speak for 2 minutes. Guys, the examiner will stop you. The examiner will say thank you, so you do not need to stress and worry. Am I speaking for 2 minutes? What is the time now? Is 1 minute over? We do not need to stress about that. The examiner will say thank you and it's over. Test done, right? What we need to talk about is our structure, our information that we're putting in to what we are saying. So a suggested time breakdown is maybe 15 seconds for the opening, maybe 30 seconds for bullet point 1 and 2, maybe another 30 seconds for bullet point 3, and for the last bullet point explaining why, we can also do another 30 seconds. And for the conclusion, for the summary, we can do maybe 15 seconds. But guys, let me remind you that do not be bound by this in terms of now we think about did I spend 30 seconds on bullet point 1 or 2? Did I spend 30 seconds on bullet point 3? And that can just interrupt our fluency, right? So guys, my suggestion is just keep on talking. Speak about your experiences, speak about what happened there, speak about maybe even who you saw there, right? And how did it make you feel? And if you are running out of things to say at the last point, carry on speaking about why, right? Until the examiner will stop you. Because probably if you're running out of things to say and if you structure it well, you probably are right there at the 2 minute mark. So just keep on speaking, keep on expanding until the examiner says thank you. So guys, next we're going to look at a now worked example, right? So we've been through the structure of the cue card, we've been through note taking, we've been through opening phrases. Now let's look at a full worked example as a whole. So guys, the moment we all have been waiting for, the cue card example all together, including our opening phrase, including our note taking, including our management of our 2 minutes, and we're going to look at it all together. We've been waiting for this moment. So let's look at it, guys. Cue card example. Like we've been working on throughout this video, describe a place you would like to visit in your free time. Where is this place? How often you go there? What you do there? And explain why you like this place. So as we have been taking our notes, Central Park, New York City, every Sunday morning, jog, read, picnic with friends, peaceful escape, city stress, and we have our opening phrase. So guys, remember these are one note per bullet point, just to give us an idea on how to expand and what to say. Because remember, 1 minute is all we have to prepare. So we have a response plan that we are going to look at, our opening, which is the topic sentence, what we are going to talk about, where and how often is the location, and how often we go there, what we do there, the type of activities that we do there, and why do we like that place. What is the reason, or why is the reason that we go there? And then, of course, to wrap it up, we will summarize everything. So our response might sound like this. I'd like to talk about Central Park in New York City, which is a place I really enjoy visiting. It's located right in the heart of Manhattan, and I try to go there every Sunday morning. It's only about a 10-minute walk from my apartment. When I'm there, I usually start with a jog around the main paths. After that, I like to find a quiet bench near the lake and read for a while. Sometimes my friends join me, and we have a small picnic on the grass. The reason I love this place is that it feels like a completely different world from the busy streets outside. It's so peaceful and green. After spending time there, I always feel refreshed and ready for the new week. So yes, Central Park is definitely my favorite spot to unwind, and I think I'll keep going there for years to come. So guys, this is a sample response, what it could sound like for you, where we worked now through the example, we've done our notes, we've expanded our answers, and we have come to the point where we now can speak for 2 minutes. So guys, next we will look at some of the key takeaways, some of the reference points for this video that we can remember going forward. So, some quick reference points for you guys for the IELTS Speaking Part 2 test. So, we've covered a lot in this video, but quick reference points. Easy things to remember, just two of them, which is 1 and 2, which is your 1 minute preparation time and your 2 minutes that you have to speak. So, what are we to remember for our 1 minute preparation time? We must read all the bullet points. We need to pick one specific example. What are we going to talk about? What is our topic sentence going to be? We need to write the keywords only. Remember, no full sentences. And we need to plan our opening phrase well with the strong starting phrases that we spoke about. What about the 2-minute talk? Right, let's start with a clear opening phrase. Remember to follow all the bullet points, but also remember, don't let it interrupt your fluency. Do not think too much of the bullet points, but remember to always keep speaking by adding details, by expanding on your answers and adding examples as well. Also finish with a closing thought that summarizes the topic that you have been speaking about. So guys, this is the quick references that you will need and you have been equipped with for your IELTS Speaking Part 2 journey. Guys, I know you are going to do well in the IELTS Speaking Part test. I believe in you and I know you got this. So guys, thank you for spending time in Zane's English Lounge. Once again, your support means a great deal to me. If you like this video, please like, subscribe and share for more IELTS content. And please leave a comment below telling me about your IELTS challenges, and I can surely and definitely help you on your journey. So guys, thank you again, and I hope to see you in the lounge once again. Bye.